So yeah, I bought the land, and that was thrilling and exciting. Today, I narrate how things went wrong. Yes, there's a reason for the black. So, just a little bit of clarity for you to understand the context in which I live. In Uganda, there are 4 ways of formally purchasing land. Now, for some reason, the most confusing, the most complicated, the most difficult to understand method is the prevalent one that is used, the private milo land. Under the private milo land, there's a possibility of having 2 people owning the same piece of land. One is called a land title owner, the other is called a chibanja owner, or what you would call, not so correctly but close enough, a squatter. The land title owner is the one who is registered at the land government offices, so they are known by the state. That person owns a piece of paper called a land title. But in the same way, there is another person who can use the land, and that person is called a chibanja owner. The chibanja owner, call them a squatter, owns the top of the land. They don't own the whole land, but what they own, the top, for lack of a better word, they can sell. Now, on land where there is both a landowner and a squatter, the landowner cannot use the land without the permission of the squatter. The squatter is not registered at the land's offices, but they are recognized by courts of law. And therein is the problem. When you have 2 landowners, you tend to have quite some friction. And that's why in my country, it has always been, it still is, and perhaps might always be, that we have land wrangles that never end. Now, if what I've explained is confusing to you, no worries. It's just a bunch of confusion. I happen to have gotten caught up in one of those. A few days to the end of the year, 2020, I received a phone call informing me that there was a squatter on my land. When I did a bit of follow-up, I found out that there was not only one, but there were 2 squatters. So there was one of me and 2 of them. Now it was coming towards the end of the year. 27th was the date, 2020, December. So I waited for the year to start, and then I prepared myself. I was angry, I was mad, I was not happy. I came fully charged. I was going to chase them off the land. I was going to sue them. What are they doing on my land? But I was just a schoolboy who knows nothing about life. I was about to be schooled. When I reached, I found a whole village of people. I have never seen people that many. I wonder where they got them from. These 2 squatters had called their entire lineage and the entire village. So it was no longer one of me and 2 of them. It was one of me and 1,000 of them. I was charged and angry, but they were more charged and more angry. One of them was verbally aggressive, and he kept hurling insults at me. I had never imagined that I would ever be involved in a confrontation between me and people my parents' age. So that was hard. But not just that. The numbers, there were just too many. The entire village was on their side. They supported their colleagues. I was the one who was new. So typically on the news, you have a rich guy on one end with money, and then you have a poor villager on the other side. The rich guy comes with bulldozers and those tractors and those things and just demolishes everything for the poor guy. Now, I am supposed to be in the position of the rich guy, but I'm not a rich guy. You guys know how I saved for a lifetime just to get 10 million shillings to buy the land that I bought. I am not a rich guy. I'm just a hustler trying to make things work, to find a solution to my frustration, only to end up in more frustration. I never said anything that day. I just let the person I had gone with talk with them, and then I went home. I slept for several months until when I eventually picked myself up and decided to do something about it. Instead of fighting, I chose to negotiate. Instead of defending my own rights, I chose to listen to what the squatters were saying. The truth is, they were not happy and they had been frustrated for a long time. For them, their suffering had started years earlier. Mine, on the other hand, had just started. So I tried to negotiate with both of them. Initially, my friend, who was more familiar with land issues, used to do the talking and, would support me most of the times. But in land wrangles, the back and forth is unending. At some point, I had to do everything myself. So I would frequently leave work and then travel up country to talk to these guys and see if we could negotiate and reach a deal. I thought if I could save more money, maybe I could buy them off the land. Now, negotiating with people up country is a little bit trickier. They don't keep time. I used to travel from town to come and negotiate with them. They would choose the time. Then you would reach and they tell you that they're in the garden or they are not there. See, here in town, if you need someone, you just call them and then you have them in a minute or so. But in the village, people don't have phones. Even when they have them, they don't have electricity, so the phones are never charged. But even if the phones were charged, there is no network. So you basically have to look for someone by the hand. I went through that whole process with both of these quarters for a long time. And though it frustrated me and I literally almost gave up, I had simply struggled so much to save that money that I wouldn't let it die. So I kept going on. I did reach a negotiation with one of them. I paid him off and we gladly talk up to now. But for the second one, it was trickier than I'd anticipated. In the end, we sat at the sub-county offices and then reached a sort of understanding. And after 3 years of back and forth, I gave the lady what she had requested, and now I can use the remaining piece of land that I retained. Was I happy? Was this a win? We are told that what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. But what it felt like then is what doesn't kill you might leave you crippled and devastated. What am I doing on this land? Don't worry, you're just about to find out in the upcoming videos. See you.